What is going on, everyone? My name is Eric and you're watching the Get Me Out of Here vlog. Today I'm in a small town called Luverne, Minnesota that has a Christmas reputation. Luverne has a population of just over 4,900 people, but this museum behind me, the Rock County Historical Society, contains over 5,000 nutcrackers. That's right, there's more nutcrackers in this town than there are people. And this actually boasts to have one of the biggest nutcracker collections in the United States. So join me today as we learn a little bit about the history of this quaint town and also take in some holiday theming. So follow me. You could say this museum is jaw-dropping. Dun 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 dun. Look at all of these nutcrackers. So I was just informed they have 6,455 nutcrackers here in their collection and growing. The collection is forever growing. Look at this. This is unbelievable. I don't even know where to begin here. There are so many nutcrackers looking back at me. I guess I could start with the Christmas themed Santa nutcrackers here. As I move to the right, they become Scottish nutcrackers with their kilts, snowman nutcrackers. They even have nutcrackers adorning themes from other holiday seasons. You can see Thanksgiving nutcrackers, Halloween themed nutcrackers. Anybody watching this, don't make a drinking game out of every time I say the word nutcrackers, but it's gonna be said a lot in this video. Oh my God, look at this. Rockstar nutcrackers. This is incredible. Look at the pirate nutcracker. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is overwhelming. And these are more of, I think here, these are more of your classic looking nutcrackers. Now, when this museum opened up in 2016, they received 2,500 nutcrackers from this woman that lived here locally here in Luverne named Betty Mann. And after they received that initial 2,500 nutcracker collection, it kind of became a thing here in Luverne, and people have added to this collection every year ever since. So this museum's only been collecting these for 8 years. So who knows what this will amass to, but right now they're boasting this is one of the biggest nutcracker collections in the United States. I've done a lot of quirky museums on my channel and other oddities and collections. I'll post some of those links at the end of this video, but this one definitely takes the nut. Of course, no collection would be complete without the famous Nutcracker Suite. Nutcrackers, the story that started it all. That is very cool to see that. There's the Rat King. It's been a while since I've watched a play or even read the stories on the Nutcracker Suite, so I'm a little hazy on it, but I do recognize the Rat King and some of the characters. Glad that they have that on display. Oh, look at that. There's an even bigger Rat King nutcracker and all of the Christmas ornaments as well with the nutcracker theme. Holy cow. Wizard of Oz nutcrackers, if I only had a nut. Oh, it's a Stitch nutcracker. There's a Rudolph, more Disney characters here, Mickey Mouse, Winnie the Pooh, Woody, Buzz Lightyear. Even the Grinch is a nutcracker.
Or is he a turkey cracker?
Or is he a turkey? Or it's the roast beast. And I know this was an election year, but whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, you guys are both nutty. Charlie Brown and Snoopy Nutcrackers. I love it. So many Nutcrackers. And if you think the size of the Nutcracker matters, they've got both big and small here on display. Don't demonetize me, YouTube. What the heck is this? I don't know what that is. There's a whole nother room filled to the brim with Nutcrackers. Oh, even glass. Look at that. Interesting. And crystal Nutcrackers. It just never ends here at this museum. Oh, look at this guy. This guy is huge. It's a big Nutcracker right there. These guys have some instruments in hand. Swords here on the bottom. Some more Santa Claus Nutcrackers and a giant cardinal Nutcracker. I live in Phoenix, Arizona now. That would be appropriate for Phoenix. Some more giant Nutcrackers here in the window. And a little documentary talking about this collection. Unbelievable.
They have been here. We don't know who it is, but they have visited.
I'm definitely getting a little nutty in here. It's too much. Too many. Too big of a collection. This Nutcracker knows karate. A lot of athletic Nutcrackers in this case. Football players, baseball players, basketball players, and what may be the most appropriate sport of all, soccer players. A lot of cracked nuts in that sport. Here we've got some chefs on display. Look at that, king of the grill. And he's even got some sausages. Right next to Santa Claus is Buffalo Bill.
Davy Crockett.
In Nutcracker form. Oh yeah, and Davy Crockett. And another Rat King. And this farmer Nutcracker is supposed to be a one of a kind. A very rare Nutcracker.
Lego Nutcracker.
Oh yeah, Lego Nutcrackers as well. There is everything you can imagine here in Nutcracker form, even Yoda. Here's the force you will.
We have the
Crack those nuts. There's Abe Lincoln Nutcracker. He's got his Gettysburg address and signature top hat. I'm not sure if I want this t-shirt. It says, "Get your nuts cracked" in Luverne, Minnesota. Maybe I should get out of this town. And in addition to Nutcrackers, there's a small collection of creepy dolls on display. Lots and lots of creepy dolls.
This is what I grew up with too. Take your toys like this, and also build a great
Oh, this one's creepy. Look at that. Ugh. Oh, look at its eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks like it's satanic. That's like The Exorcist. Yeah, that's probably the creepiest one here. A couple Nestle emoji poos. Nestle Scotchy. Whatever that is. Poppin' fresh. Woohoo! Of course, have to have Raggedy Ann and Andy. And a few Barbie dolls on display. And look, it's a Ronald Reagan and George W. Bush doll. Yeah, we do have that in the basement from back in the day. We got some archaeological finds here. There's an Ice Age elk antler and this bison skull was actually found recently in 2022, embedded in a nearby creek bed. Some old arrowheads from Native American tribes. I'm gonna walk inside this old recreation of a log cabin. It's not very big inside. Not much headspace. But there's an old chest and some coffee pots. Ow! And I hit my head. Some old school desks from a country school here in Minnesota. Wow, look at that. Old chalkboard. And they actually have pictures here of Rock County schools from the late 1800s along the walls. It's pretty wild to think about that. This is really a time that has passed long ago. Country schools. Oh, look at this. It's an old drinking fountain from the Steen School. They called it a bubbler. I think people in Wisconsin still call drinking fountains bubblers.
Oh, yeah.
But look at that. An old drinking fountain. There's a picture of it from 1950. And here it is. Right here on display. Wow, it's an old interview room is what the door said outside, but they've got lots of antique cameras. Oh wow, and old black and white photos. Look at that. Everybody looking so serious because it took a long time to take a photo. People didn't really smile so much back in the day. And look at these, a little more modern cameras, film cameras. It's hard to believe. Actually, growing up, when I was a kid in the 90s, you could still go to Kmart and other stores and local grocery stores and develop film. That's a thing of the past now, too. Even the DVD player. I don't think this is on display. But you could almost say that the DVD player belongs in a museum now. Oh, wow. It's a big old antique camera. We'll have a face-off. My camera versus this old, maybe turn of the 20th century camera. Cheese! Peering into the lens of an antique camera. Old cash register. And it's like antique trophies from schools that are no longer in existence here in Minnesota. Oh look, old Dutch potato chips. Potato chip, dun 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 dun. Potato chip. It was like an old commercial in the late 80s. I remember as a kid. I remember that jingle. All work and no play make Jack a dull boy. Gotta love the old typewriter. And oh, look at this old, I don't know if this is a dentist chair. Maybe it's a dental chair. Looks like a dental chair. Maybe some kind of hospital chair. Look at that. Look at the design. Oh, barber. Never mind. It's a barber's chair. Koken Barbers Supply Company, St. Louis, Missouri. This guy looks like Colonel Sanders a little bit, minus the beard. No beard, but he's got the suit and the bow tie. Say, what's the big idea? This old country sink and water pump. My mom was just telling me she remembers my grandma having one of these when she was growing up in northern Minnesota in a small town called Grigla. It's kind of very close to the Canadian border. It's pretty far north. Oh, weird. It's a Norwegian joke. A cuckoo brought to Rock County by Reinert and Tilda Toftland in a hat box in 1960 after having left it in Norway when they emigrated in 1937. Funny thing is that I'm Norwegian background on my mom's side. I actually have a great-grandmother named Tilda. Oh, and there's a picture of the bird right there. A lot of church memorabilia from Lutheran churches. A lot of Norwegians and Swedish people coming over from Scandinavia are very Lutheran. I can speak from experience. But look at that, that's really cool. It's a beautiful altar. A lot of Minnesotans are of Scandinavian background. So there's a lot of Lutherans and Protestants in this region. I'm one of them. I grew up Lutheran. Still am. Still consider myself a Lutheran. Look at this relic here, an old phone booth. It says this telephone booth was placed in the basement of the Luverne High School cafeteria in 1956, which is funny because this reminds me a lot of the telephone booth on display in the Surf Ballroom, the last ballroom that Buddy Holly ever played in. In fact, Buddy Holly called his wife shortly before boarding that fated plane that took his life. He called his wife on a phone just like this one that's still on display at the Surf Ballroom today. That's awesome. Tons of antique phones here on display. Really weird now in the age of cell phones to see these old landline phones. Like this one I would still consider somewhat modern. Had one just like that in the 90s, and oh my gosh, it's an old bag phone. Take a look at this. My dad had a bag phone just like this circa 1995. I must have been about 9 years old, but I thought, my family and I thought this was the coolest thing. We would plug this in the car, we could call and order pizza ahead of time and pick it up. That was the most amazing thing in the age right before cell phones. These old car phones. It's so funny. That is funny. A bunch of old radios on display as well. And some more modern day history. This was the old Minnesota state flag that was changed in recent years to this. This is now the current Minnesota state flag. This is the one that it just replaced a couple years ago. Kind of interesting. I didn't know that this has been a thing over the past almost 70 years, but they actually wanted to redesign the flag to that in 1957. This was another choice in 2023 that they came up with, but they voted to finalize it on this design. Of course, before leaving, they have a small gift shop where you can also take home your very own Nutcracker and start your own collection for next Christmas season. Before leaving, I had to take home this magnet that says Nuts for Luverne. Add that to my massive magnet collection. Well, that has been a treat. I have to get out of here because, to tell you the truth, I'm going nuts in there with so many nutcrackers. But this has been an amazing time here in Luverne, Minnesota, exploring the Rock County Historical Society and what they boast to be one of the largest nutcracker collections here in the United States. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. My name is Eric. This is the Get Me Out of Here vlog, and it's time for me to get out of here. Thanks for watching. I'm going nuts. Dun 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 dun. Perfect.